OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, has found that most ladder accidents are due to improper use and selection, poor condition, and inadequate base and top support. The first step for safety depends on knowing what the ladders and stairways in your workplace are designed for and their proper use. This program will show you safe use of portable ladders, proper ladder setup, inspection and maintenance, safe work practices, and how to build job-made ladders and stairways. To prevent accidents, you need to know how to use the right ladder for the job. Look at the ladder type and load capacity. The ladder must be able to support the weight of tools, materials, and you. Type 1A is an extra heavy-duty industrial ladder capable of supporting 300 pounds. Type 1 is a heavy-duty industrial ladder capable of supporting 250 pounds. Type 2 is a medium-duty commercial ladder and supports 225 pounds. And Type 3 is a light-duty household ladder and supports only 200 pounds. A step ladder is portable, stands by itself, and is non-adjustable in height. It has flat steps, a hinged back, and its height is determined by the length of the side rails. The side rails should spread at a ratio of at least 1 inch for each foot in length. The steps are spaced 10 to 14 inches apart, and the minimum acceptable width between side rails is 11½ inches. Before use, inspect the work area. Be sure the ladder is fully open with the feet on firm, level ground with the spreaders locked. Extension ladders are portable, adjustable in length, and consist of 2 or more sections that travel in guides or brackets. The minimum width of any section of an extension ladder is 12 inches. The maximum length of a section can be no more than 24 feet. Extension ladders should be equipped with positive stops that ensure a safe overlap of the sections. The safe minimum overlaps are as follows. For ladders up to 32 feet, use a 3-foot overlap. For ladders up to 36 feet, overlap 4 feet. For ladders up to 48 feet, overlap 5 feet. And for ladder sizes over 48 feet, overlap 6 feet. After inspecting the surface the ladder will be on, get help from a co-worker to extend the ladder. Never raise or lower the ladder with the fly section extended. Be sure to secure or foot the ladder before raising it. The horizontal setup angle should be 1/4 the distance from the top support to the bottom support, or 1 foot from the wall at the base for every 4 feet of ladder height. So if the working height is 20 feet, the horizontal distance from the wall to the base should be 5 feet. Finally, all ladders must extend a minimum of 3 feet above the working surface and be securely tied on. This will prevent potentially hazardous movement. Fixed ladders are permanently attached to a structure, building, or equipment. They must be strong enough to support 2 loads of 250 pounds on any 2 consecutive attachments and withstand various weather conditions, rigging, and impact loads. Rungs may be a maximum of 16 inches parallel, level, and uniformly spaced. The distance between each rung should be no less than 10 inches and no more than 14 inches. Fixed ladders longer than 24 feet are to be equipped with safety devices such as cages or wells. Individual rung ladders are another type of fixed ladder. Use a ladder safety device and self-retracting lifeline when climbing these ladders. Because they are built at the work site, job-made ladders are covered by rules to ensure both safety and practicality. Each ladder can be no longer than 24 feet. For more length, stagger 2 ladders and set up secure landings. Single cleat job-made ladders must be between 16 and 20 inches wide. Rail size may vary depending on the length and pitch of the ladder. For the side rails, use stress grade lumber indicating grade, species, dryness, and approval under American Lumber Standards Committee guidelines. Inspect the boards for knots before use. The American National Standards Institute specifies that tight, sound knots of 3/4 of an inch or less in diameter are acceptable in the wide face. No knots are allowed on the narrow face. Only 2 knots are allowed per cleat. None should be closer than 6 inches to center, nor less than 1 inch from any edge. The grain must be nearly parallel with the length of the cleat, with the greatest permissible slope of 1 inch in every 12 inches. If many workers will be using it, make a double cleat ladder. Cleats should be no less than 18 inches wide and no more than 22 inches measured inside to inside. Stagger the nails to reduce the chances of splitting the wood. Butt against the underside of the ladder filler blocks of the same thickness between the cleats. Use 1x2 strips for 1x4 cleats and 2x2 strips for 2x4 cleats. Leave 1 1/2 inches between outside nails and the top or bottom of each filler block. Don't perform load tests on a job-made ladder. This could cause weakening under normal use. Follow the pitch angle and footing procedures used for portable ladders. Remove cleats above the level of the landing and allow a minimum extension of 36 inches. Make sure to tie off the rails to a secure object. Check ladders for broken or missing steps, broken or split side rails, and other structural defects. Immediately tag defective ladders with "Do Not Use." Look for corrosion and deterioration on metal ladders, inside open-ended hollow rungs, and structural weakness on rungs and side rails. For wood, check for soft areas. Examine ladders that have been misused or have fallen over for excessive dents. Make sure the rung to side rail connections haven't come loose. Clean any ladders that are used in oily or greasy areas. Use both hands to climb up the ladder. If toting equipment makes using both hands impossible, ask a coworker to hand you the equipment once you've reached the top. If you can't reach something, don't overreach. Get down and move your ladder. Never climb on, straddle, sit, or stand on the top 2 steps of a stepladder. Do not use the rear support braces as steps for climbing. Never use metal ladders for electrical work or where there may be contact with electrical conductors or power lines. And never use a stepladder as an extension or fixed ladder. Try not to put a ladder in a passageway or doorway where it could be knocked over. If this situation can't be avoided, put up cones or barricades. Ladders should never be used as skids, scaffolds, gangways, or anything other than a ladder. Never put a ladder on an unstable base to get more height. Never walk, shift, or move a ladder while occupied. When working on metal, concrete, or other slippery surfaces, use rubber, slip-resistant feet on extension and step ladders. Never use a makeshift ladder with rungs loosely fastened across a single rail. Finally, never paint non-fixed ladders. This could mask potentially hazardous defects. A series of steps and landings having 4 or more risers is considered a stairway. Most accidents occur because a worker may underestimate the potential hazards of using a stairway. Pay close attention as you climb, and if possible, minimize your load. Fixed stairs provide access between the safe work platforms of a structure. They must be able to support 5 times the maximum intended load. On rounded structures, such as storage tanks with diameters over 5 feet, winding stairways may be necessary. Guardrails with top and mid rails may also serve as handrails. These railings are mandatory on the open sides of exposed stairways with at least 4 or more steps. Use them. Enclosed stairways should have handrails on one side. When there is a break in a surface exceeding 19 inches in height, with no other means of access, a temporary or job-made stairway will need to be customized and built to meet the requirements of a workplace. Job-made stairways must be constructed from wood which meets specifications set by the American Lumber Standards Committee. The riser and tread height must be uniform within the flight of stairs and not vary more than 1/4 inch. Platforms must be constructed for access to doors that open directly onto stairways. The platform must be wide enough to compensate for the swing of the door with a remaining width of no less than 20 inches. Stairways with 4 or more risers or that rise more than 30 inches, whichever is less, require at least 1 handrail and 1 stair rail system of no less than 36 inches along each unprotected side. You need to be able to depend on the stairways and ladders in your workplace. Follow ladder safety procedures along with regular inspections and maintenance. A competent person should inspect and approve all job-made stairs and ladders. Keep stairways clean and clutter-free, and pay attention during use. Poor lighting, glare, and slippery steps can cause accidents. Taking that first step to safety is your insurance for climbing to higher levels safely and performing your work confidently.